The SSC exam is right here, and in today's session we will be discussing about the accurate strategy of attempting the examination, how to manage time, and what will be the most important topics for the logical reasoning section. So by the end of the session you will be able to understand all these, right? And there will definitely be some take home, positive take home for you today. Okay, so let's start the session right away. First and foremost, let's start with what all do you need to keep in mind. Okay, it's written gradient practice here, but I would suggest that is already done. Gradient practice means easy, medium, hard, but I think we have already crossed that threshold. Now that the exams are approaching, even if you're practicing anything, keep yourself at par the level of your examination. Don't unnecessarily practice very difficult questions, and of course don't go for very easy questions as well. Why am I saying that? A lot of students, now that they know that input output is being asked in the examination, they are unnecessarily practicing banking level input output, very difficult questions. Don't do that. Just give yourself brief exposure to what sort of questions can come up. Understand the basic principle behind solving those questions, the concept, and then approach the questions accordingly. Okay. So definitely full length mocks is a must. Full length mocks and their in-depth analysis after it is very important, right? Now, why in-depth analysis? Because you need to identify some pointers from this analysis only. Once you are utilizing these full length mocks, you don't have to practice anything topic wise or subject wise now. Go for mixed practice majorly. So practice full length mocks, that's the best strategy right now. But from those mocks, pick up two things. Point number one, you pick up high scoring topics for each subject. Okay, like supposedly for reasoning, you are very confident about a few topics. So now you need to understand that these topics you need to be thoroughly aware of. Okay, so there will be some sort of topics which will have lower frequency. So now you can, give less focus on those topics. Definitely don't practice them topic wise at all. You can just include them sometimes in your mocks here and there, but don't separately practice these topics. But the high value, high weightage topics you need to lay special focus on. Also identify your weak areas. What exactly are your weak areas? Where are you lacking? So your special stress needs to be on those weak areas. No matter how much extra time it takes, you need to make sure that before your examination starts, your weakness is taken care of as much as possible, so that does not botch down your complete examination. That does not lead to nervousness, because everybody is aware of their weakness somewhere or the other. And if it is not attended to by the examination start, by the time the examination starts, it is suddenly going to cause a lot of anxiety and nervousness. Okay, so to avoid that, you need to take care of these topics beforehand. Okay, now what happens is after this, so as I told you, new things will lead to nervousness. Okay, and what does this nervousness do? Actually, for a lot of students, when you are well prepared, you are already done with your topics, you're already done with your practice, you're already done with mocks, everything is up to the mark, your subjects are up to the mark, you are familiar with everything, and you are right now in a confident state that yes, I am going to probably ace it. Okay, now whatever is happening around you, whatever negativity is going around, also when you sit for the examination, probably it is your way of handling emotions. You will come across something new, right? And the moment you come across something new, some new way of asking the question, some new data, some new topic, something which you have not practiced enough, something which you know is your weakness, if the moment you encounter that and maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 questions with it, you will immediately start getting nervous and you start thinking about the future. At that very moment, you will lose your examination. Very few people come back from this point. This is the point of no return. So don't drag yourself to that point. Sometimes our brains play a different trick altogether. They just, end up rebelling against us. They actually do that. They have their own personality, and that's how psychology works. Your brain is going to push you away. Your brain is not going to support you, and your brain is going to give up on that very moment. It happens with a lot of students, and that is especially because you are extremely nervous and in heavy stress. So what you need to do is you not only need to focus on your academics or your content, okay, your understanding, but also on your emotional aspect of it. How are you going to handle this emotional challenge? How are you going to come out of it? So a lot of people recommend breathing techniques. 3 long breaths, hold, pass. I know during the examination you don't have this much time. So 1 long breath, hold, pass. And in that time, use a keyword. Define a keyword before you start your examination. Right now only do it. That okay, I will just say calm down, or it is possible, or I will do it, or I just can, or any random word which you find is helpful to you, cheers you up, takes you to a happy place, keep that with you. So the moment you start getting little nervous and jittery, you just Take a deep breath, hold, lose it, and then immediately take that word. I will be able to do it. Come on, rush fast. And you will come back on track within moments, within seconds. And that is going to ease so much of that pressure which is building on your head, which can actually cause you to completely lose your examination. So don't let that happen. On the D day, a lot of students just lose their examination because of this nervousness. Everything else is on track. Okay, so be careful about this. Now we'll talk about the sequences or the ways to attempt the examination. So your ideal sequence so far has always been the germ technique only. Germ means GK, English, Reasoning, Maths. Now the germ technique is usually followed, was usually being followed by all the students till now, and even now more than 90% of the students are doing the same thing. So you need to identify whether this is okay with you, whether you are happy, or you want to switch maybe English or GK or maybe some other subjects here and there. A lot of you think that for me quant before works first. Okay, it's your choice, but you need to be confident about it. So if you've picked up a method, you need to have, you should have revised it so many times that it is now there as a part of your system. You don't need to depend on anything for that. Okay, even the clock for that matter, you should be so hard with the practice that you don't need to look at the clock time and again. The timer, you should not revisit the timer again and again, because that leads to additional stress. So make it a point that after every 3 questions, 4 questions or 5 questions, I'll just check the timer once and I'll come back, and I'll not let it affect me no matter what. Okay, awareness helps. Okay, we'll discuss the 1, 2, 3 method briefly for you. Okay, I think some of you might have heard it, but we'll just go through it once. So to attempt any test, any exam, we have the very popular 1, 2, 3 method. Now see, I'll briefly give you an explanation of this method. What is the 1, 2, 3 method? Basically, when you used to give examinations, the board examinations where you had to write the descriptive answers, these were not competitive examinations. So at that time, there was a special allocation of 15 minutes for you to read your question paper. हाँ, फायर गेमिंग अभी बताता हूँ, आपका जवाब दूंगा, ठीक है? I will answer you. So in those sections, in your board examinations, you used to get 15 minutes to separately read your question paper, strategize, choose which answers you wanted to give, which answers you don't want to give, which section will you start with first. You know, everything was decided in the first 15 minutes, and those were the game changer. But just imagine that time is taken away from you. So that is exactly what is happening here, right? In this competitive exam, you don't have that edge. That time is not there with you. So how will you bring it into picture? You will divide your section, your test into 3 rounds. Okay. Round number one will be solely dependent on reading. But now you tell me, if I just read the paper, the first 100 questions, okay, I'm already wasting a lot of my time, right? And there's no return on investment. If I'm investing my time, I need to have something in return. So what will I have here? I will attempt all the easy or quick questions here. Okay, at least you will have 20% questions which will be easy, which will be quick, which you will be able to do right away without the use of your pen. Maximize this as much as possible. There may be questions in reasoning, something like a mathematical operator based questions, which you would normally take some few seconds, 30, 35, 40 seconds to solve, but make it a habit to solve it without a pen always. Your calculation should all be in mentally. If you can do that, if you can achieve a mathematical operator question in 12 seconds, this is the time where you do it. Okay, there will be questions from cubes and dice, there will be questions from, you know, there will be simple topics. There are topics always and there are questions always which almost everybody is going to do, but it is all about the time. So this is the round you will attempt it. Okay, this is the round where you will solve these questions. Now done. This is not going to be a very long round, but this will ensure that you have read your paper till the end. Okay, you have already solved all those questions which you knew and which were very easy and quick without any problem, 100% accuracy. Now there is nothing which you will miss out on which is going to be very easy. In the same time, you are also marking for review those questions which you feel that you know, you are very aware of, you are 90% or I would say 100% sure about the questions, but you know that they are calculated. Supposedly you get a question on seating arrangement. You read the question, you are very sure that I know how to do this. I can very much see the arrangement, but as of now I can't, not in this round. So you will mark it. All those questions you will keep marking it. Some profit loss question, you know that there is some calculation. Some allegation question, I know there is some calculation, but it's not going to be instant. There is a 2-step or 3-step process. It's going to take a few seconds. It's going to take 30, 35, 40 seconds and I can't spend the time here. So that is what you will attempt in round 2. This is going to be your longest round. And this is the main chunk of your examination. This is how you actually give exam. A lot of you give your exam only in this round. That's how you attempt. Don't do that. Break it into 3 parts. So once this is done, you don't have to stress about anything else. Now you come back here and you are attempting all those questions. So in this section, mostly you can attempt a lot of questions from the GK section because they are almost instant questions. If you know, you know, you don't know, you don't know. In English also you can pick up some questions, then you will come to reasoning and then you will come to maths or quant. Okay. So again, you can come down in this gradient. Maybe 1 or 2 questions you will find in maths, maybe 2-3 questions you will find in reasoning which you can instantly answer. Maybe 4-5 in GK, maybe 2-3 in English. So that is how you will attempt this. Okay. And then whatever questions you find that you will be able to do with a bit of time, you will attempt it here. So this is your major section. After you're done with these 2 sections, you are done with your 100%. No, we tell everybody that I'm going to give my 100% no matter what. You're done with your 100%. You have done what best you could do, what best you knew without taking any risks. Okay. So this is your best accuracy. Now is what decides your selection or rejection. Okay. That is the third round, which is the bonus round. Now, what is a bonus round? A bonus round is something which almost all toppers, all the 10-20% scorers, the cream of any competitive examinations use. Okay. And I'm not saying that they are not intelligent. They are very intelligent. Here also they are going to score a very high marks as compared to an average student. But this is what pushes their scores. When you see sometimes the scores seem to be unbelievable. Oh, yaar, a 200 mark paper and this guy is scoring 195. How is that possible in this limited time? Why can't I do it? What is going wrong? Does he know the answers well? Does he just read the question and remember the answers from somewhere? Maybe partly that might be the reason, that he's practiced so much that he remembers answers, but this is also a helpful thing. That is why a lot of people say that it's about luck. Competitive exams are about luck. So this is your 2% luck. This is your 98% hard work. This is your 2% luck. How? So in this round, you need to give a push to your rank. This is a rank booster round. You will take an educated guess, but don't listen to me carefully. Don't make random guesswork. That's not going to help you. That might just take it away from you. So you have to make educated guess, calculated guess, simplified guesses, okay, where you will land up on answers which have more probability of giving you correct answers. In questions which you are 80%, 70%, 60% sure of. Okay, maybe not 100%. You are sure partly, but you don't know it completely. If you can eradicate 2 options completely, then you should attempt those questions in this round. Okay, so that is how you build up these questions this round gradually. For example, a quant-based question from mensuration. This was a very old technique though, but I don't know, sometimes it is still applicable because your, let's say a mensuration question where pi is involved in the formula. Because of multiplication with pi in the fraction form, that is 22/7, the final answer comes to be a multiple of 11. So if you don't know anything, just randomly try to find multiples of 11. Which number is divisible by 11? Probably there is only one answer, one option which is. You can take a risk there and go ahead. Okay, questions in logical reasoning clock section. We teach you in the formula of the conditional question, 12/11 into gain plus minus condition. You can get the answers directly while you convert the timing, that what time between 4 and 5 will the hands of the clock coincide. You can get it directly by saying that the complete minute time plus the numerator of the mixed fraction, their sum is always going to be a multiple of 10 or for these 3 conditions. So you can directly identify from the options, at least delete 2 options quickly and then solve the question. So that ways you can make those educated guesses and actually get out of this section, push your rank a bit. Supposedly you answer, let's say 5 questions or 6 questions like this, you get 4 right and 2 incorrect. It will still give you an upper hand. It will still give you a rank boost. Even 1 mark is going to push your rank further. Okay, I know this can go the other way around, and hence I am saying and I am reiterating that do not take unnecessary risk. Do not just start gambling right away that okay, I'll just take maybe C, maybe B, maybe A. Don't do that. It has to be an educated guess. It just can't be random. Keeping all these 3 in mind, now you have given your best. You have exceeded your potential. You can't do anything more than this. You have done what was there in your control. You have maximized your potential, and now whatever happens, happens in the result. Right? So you can utilize this technique. You can utilize the germ technique. You can utilize both of them together, that round 1 germ, round 2 germ, round 3 germ. Okay, you can do that also. But whatever you do, you can use your own method also. Whatever you do, please apply that specifically on your mocks right away. By the time you are reaching your examination, you should be thorough with the method completely. And don't bring changes in the last moment. If you are already set up with something, good, go ahead with that, no problem. And there is no one method which is accurate or the best method. Everybody is going to function on their own free will with their own methodology. So you have to find that out is what it is all about, right? And lastly, we'll talk about the most important aspect of this session today, which are the important topics. Now, important topics I've divided into 2 sections of logical reasoning. the new pattern based and the old pattern based. Okay. New pattern based means what are the new topics which are introduced? They are all of them. All of them. Input, output, critical reasoning, that means statement assumption, statement argument, statement conclusion, statement inference, statement course of action, cause and effect, assertion, reason and decision making. Okay. All these topics, they were already being asked in your tier 2, but now they are expected in tier 1 as well. Then we have social emotional intelligence, we have ethical dilemma, we have mod based arithmetic reasoning, and we have regular arithmetic reasoning, percentage, profit loss, ages, etc. But you are already practicing that in the quant section, right? These you need to go through completely, thoroughly. Why? Because this is something new. So no matter how much you have practiced, still you will feel that there is some novelty factor, and novelty leads to nervousness. So that you're not nervous, this needs to be thorough. Okay. Now, as far as the old pattern is concerned, despite these new questions, there are topics in the old pattern which still have the capacity to actually decide whether your section, reasoning section, is difficult or easy. And those topics are coding, decoding, series, analogy, classification, blood relation, direction. I will add some more here, maybe puzzles and sitting arrangement. I am not seeing a lot of variation in syllogism though. Puzzle and sitting arrangement, okay. These topics you can go through once again, right? And observe that change in way of asking is very important. That means you are not practicing blood relation or direction in a regular sense. Regular sense you are already well aware of. You need to check for variations. So you can check for, just for the sake of it, check for other examinations, that how the questions are asked here. Let's say you pick up a random Intelligence Bureau, IB ACIO paper. You will get to see that blood relations was totally different there. They have, in the last year, they have asked a question from blood relations based on assertion reason, or coding decoding, totally different there again, match the column based. Okay. So it's not, you know, it's not a case that this might not happen in SSC also. This may be possible, right? That they might change the way they ask you the question. So you should have exposure to variation. I'm not saying practice 100 questions, but just practice 1 or 2, get the hang of it so that you understand that if at all there is a change, again you don't get nervous and you start losing it. That should not be the case. Okay. Learn to emotionally handle your stress, learn to handle everything, or aim for a high emotional quotient in the examination so that you can actually befriend your brain and use it for your best potential, for your best capacity. Right, on that note, I'll end the session here. I'll just quickly answer fire gaming. For the reasoning section, if you're taking a lot of time, focus on what are your weaknesses and where exactly are you consuming that time. If on the Oliveboard platform you're giving mocks, you must be able to see that in each section how much time, in each question how much time have you taken. So if you can identify those topics where you're actually and you end up taking a lot of time, identify why is that and only focus on that right now, nothing else. Everything else, if you have done it once, you'll be able to do it again. You'll be able to do it reciprocated there also. But as of now, focus only on those identifiers and you will slightly, you know, those outliers, you will slightly get better at it. Everything is possible, it's not impossible. Just that I know the time is too short. So do your best in these whatever few days are remaining, and that's all you can do. That's all in your control. Leave the rest to the Almighty, right? So we'll end it here. Thank you so much for joining live, guys. Our main purpose for the session, the main agenda for the session has been achieved. I'll see you around in the live session in the evening today. Till then, bye-bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.